Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and my channel is all about my plant collection and my exotic pets that I have. For today's video, I'm going to be introducing one of my very first pets, and it is a reptile, so she's one of my first reptiles. So yeah, let's get started. So this right here is my bearded dragon lady. She's about 4 or 5 years old, and I would consider her to be a rescue. At first, when I first got her, she wasn't a rescue because I wasn't getting her thinking that I was rescuing her. I was just getting her because I was really wanting a bearded dragon and I had the opportunity to get one. We did find her off of Craigslist from somebody who was selling her in my town. But when I went to go pick her up, she just had a lot of things wrong with her enclosure. Not too many things wrong with her herself. But yeah, since I've had her, we've gone through a whole bunch of changes to her enclosure and her diet, and pretty much everything. We've come a long way. So when I picked her up, the guy said that she was about 3 or 4 years old, and I've had her for about a year now, a little bit over a year, so she's about 4 or 5 years old now. So when I picked her up and I saw her enclosure, the things that in her enclosure were the first things that I noticed wrong, and that was her substrate. She was on a sand substrate and her food bowl was in the sand. There were really weird looking worms, like different kinds of worms, crawling around in the sand and basically living in it, but they were not any type of feeder insect, so it was very weird and I don't know what was going on. But yeah, so I got rid of the sand. I actually just bought her a whole new enclosure itself. Like, I just got rid of everything that guy had. The UVB light that he had was a really crappy one with the coil bulb, and it was also really short. I think it was like 18 inches, so it didn't even cover half of the tank. So yeah, so all of the upgrades that she had is I got her a brand new 40 gallon breeder enclosure, but I got I forget what brand it is, but it has front opening doors, but it's not Exoterra or Zoomed. It's like some type of something else, but it's the front opening doors. And then I got her a 36-inch I want to say ReptiSun 10.0 UV light fixture, because those bulbs and those fixtures are just a lot better than the coil ones. And I got her one long enough that it would go across her entire tank so that she could have UV everywhere. The heat bulbs that he had were fine, but along the way I did end up getting different domes for the heat bulbs. So yeah, and then I switched her substrate out from sand to tile. I actually just recently upgraded her tile and got her a whole brand new one and totally redecorated her tank just to have like a different scenery. Also, another thing that was not good with her husbandry was her diet. So when I got her, and you know, I asked him about like what he was feeding her and all these things, he showed me a packet of freeze-dried like greens, like vegetables, like peas and stuff, and it was freeze-dried. So what he did was he poured it into her food bowl, mixed it with water so it would like freshen up, I guess, and then that's what she would eat. And he was also feeding her freeze-dried insects. So basically she was getting insects with no nutritional value. She didn't have like the hunting enrichment either. And then her greens obviously, of course, were not healthy at all either because they were freeze-dried, and when foods and things are like freeze-dried, it sucks all of the nutrition out of them. So that's what she was on. But of course, at the time when I got her, I didn't I mean, I picked up on those things. Like, I saw the freeze-dried food and, you know, of course the sand, and I was like, that doesn't look right to me. But when I brought her home, over like probably a course of 2 weeks, I ended up going and buying her a tank and switching tile and, you know, slowly making upgrades. Her tank upgrades happen pretty quick other than the UV light. I just recently got that at the beginning of this year. So she had the coil light for a year until I just recently upgraded her. So some changes were quicker than others. Another slow process change was her diet. Trying to transition her to fresh, you know, greens and veggies and a little bit of fruit was kind of hard because she doesn't really like to eat that stuff in general. She hardly ever eats her greens, but transitioning her to insects was extremely easy. Like, her seeing them move, like, she went nuts. Like, she absolutely loved it. So the insect part was easy, the greens was not. And I tried a whole bunch of different methods with her and trying to get her to eat her greens, and I haven't had too much of luck. So we're still working on that, but everything else, she's been completely upgraded and it's looking pretty nice. So I guess we'll go on to show you the latest upgrades in her enclosure, and you can see how freaking cute it is because it's so cute. And then I'm gonna let her run around for a little bit because she's getting kind of antsy. Okay, so right here on this giant rack that I have that holds all of my plants and animals is my bearded dragon lady's tank. So this is a 40-gallon breeder. It is a front opening tank. As you can see, these glass doors right here. I definitely prefer that over the one that doesn't have glass doors and you have to like get in from the top, just because it's a lot easier to access her and to clean her cage and stuff. But yeah, so on top I do have 2 heat lamps. One's a 75 and then one's 100. Usually I just have 2 75s, but recently upgraded one to 100 just because it's starting to get colder and it's getting colder in my apartment, so I wanted to make sure that she has the proper heating. And then this black thing that extends all the way back is her 36-inch long UVB. Over here is her warm side. Those are her heat bulbs right there. And then this rock I have as a basking spot just because this rock, it's kind of a dark color and it's smooth and it's big, so she can like lay on it, she can get belly heat, and she can also bask. So this rock actually gets to be pretty warm, around 95 to 100 degrees, and then she also gets that 95 to 100 degrees from her heat lamps when basking. But because it's not that big, she has room to bask around here. So if she wants to be a little higher up or get that belly heat, she can lay on this. But if she doesn't, then she can just lay on the tile, which the tile is a darker color than what I had before. So it does absorb more heat. But I mean, laying my hand on it, it's really not, you know, super warm compared to the rock. So if she doesn't really want that belly heat, she can always lay on the tile. Then we have her log hut. It's a pretty big log hut. This is basically where she likes to go the most. She either sleeps under her hut in this dark corner or even up on her hammock. But I have the hut there so she can easily climb up onto her hammock, and then some more leaf decorations right here. So yeah, that is my bearded dragon's enclosure. And there's my bearded dragon. Alright, so that about brings us to the end of this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and hopefully you'll stick around for more videos.